The Neo Reality Entertainment brand expands with a relaunch of the Neo Reality Collective Pop Culture News Talk. Your host, Eric Brown, gives his insights and thoughts in the ever-expanding news world of comic books, professional wrestling, gaming, TV, and movies. Be sure to donate to the brand and keep up to date with additional content on YouTube channels such as Neo Reality Entertainment, NRE The Wrestleverse, and NRE Pop Culture Omniverse.
Today's edition of Neo Reality Collective is brought to you by Anchor.fm, a free distribution service podcasting hosting platform that allows you to record your podcast on your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and so much more. You can even make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor.fm app or go to Anchor.fm to get started today. Thank you and enjoy the episode. Welcome back, everyone. We're back with the 18th episode of Neo Reality Collective Pop Culture News Talk. So, better late than never. I had to go ahead and delay due to issues going on Wednesday. So, yeah, expect my Long Halloween Part 1 review to come out a little bit later. But let's get right into everything and move forward. PWG has announced Tremendous 4/6. Show scheduled to take place on September 26th. Pro Wrestling Guerrilla announced their next big show, Tremendous 6, set to take place on the 26th, with their announcement tagline being "Better Late Than Ever." The first Tremendous event began. This will be the first one since July 2018, an event headlined by then PWG World Champion Walkout versus Brody King. This is said to be the second event for PWG since the outbreak of COVID, with the return starring Mystery Vortex, set for August 1st. Both will take place in the home base of PWG, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla Globe Theater in Los Angeles, California. And as of yet, no information regarding a card or roster has been announced, but things may be more clear following the show, saying that the premise of the Mystery Vortex is that nothing is announced beforehand and every match is a mystery to the audience until the competitors appear, so maybe yeah. Oh dear. So PWG is back in business. Yeah. But their first show is basically a mystery box, so you have to take our good word for it. Oh man, I remember when All Out made their big debut. All In happened, and they only had like 30 minutes of tickets, and then it sold within 30 minutes to the point that they had only announced like one card at the time, one match at the time. So yeah, I think PWG can do it since they're a smaller promotion. They can make the moment. Props to them. Let's see if they can do it. Becky Lynch may not return as a Raw superstar. Yay! According to a new contract and everything, according to Fight for Select Sean Ross Sapp, she may return on a different brand. Sean Ross Sapp didn't know which brand would be, leaving SmackDown, NXT, and UK as the three other options for Lynch outside of Raw. The match being made for Summerslam Triple Threat was a bit of a surprise. A lot of people were expecting Becky to be back, but word is she might be heading to a different brand, so who knows, but they need her back bad in his Raw review. So they're not going to go ahead and bring her back for Raw, because even WWE's like, yeah, we know Raw sucks. We could fix it, but we're too lazy to. And yeah, so you might need to think about doing something on that. But yeah, to hear that is just disheartening for some. But yeah, especially since her last championship was the Raw Women's title and she never lost it technically. She gave it to Asuka, so it's gonna be pretty weird not seeing that on her anymore on Raw after being on there for so long. So her going back to SmackDown would be kind of interesting. But if she shows up in NXT, it's like Vince is not going to do that. I'm pretty sure she's heading to SmackDown because to Vince, NXT is the loser brand now since, you know, Karrion Kross has been screwed over big time. So, okay, but like Becky Lynch, I'm looking forward to her comeback, but we'll have to wait and see. But it looks like she's not set for Monday Night Raw, regardless of what fans were cheering regarding we want Becky and her continued feud with Charlotte on Twitter. God. So Kenny Omega has provided an update about the AEW console game. Yes! Being developed with Kenny Omega's vision in mind, the Best Battle Machine previews revealed he's hoping the title will be released next year, early 2022. Darby Allin's character models and his moves were showcased during that last update, and recently revealed the development team at Ukes and AEW Games are continuing to work on more character models and movesets. To be involved, not only in wrestling, but wrestling video games is really cool. To actually be so hands-on on an actual project is new to me. I'm dealing with it day by day. We got a great team, a great support system. I never gone to any meeting or any presentation feeling or acting like I know what I'm doing. I always make sure to ask everyone around me if my ideas or input is contributing in a positive way. He said on Wrestling Observer Radio, and I know I'm trying to go for a Kenny Omega impression. So far, we have a lot of cool things incorporated in the game that I think fans are going to love. When they do get their hands on this thing, I think they're going to have fun playing it. It's going in positive. We're starting to work on some more character models. Not many of them are 100% complete, but when you see them come together and look more like the person they are supposed to be, and you see the wrestling engine and how the matches are starting to flow in the gameplay, it starts bare bones with the moves, but then to see the move sets get plugged in and other systems we're incorporating little by little into that gameplay, it's really exciting. One thing that was cool about wrestling games back in the day was people from all walks of life played wrestling games. Even if they weren't wrestling fans, I hope that our hardcore fans dig the game and fans of general wrestling like the game. I hope the people who just like games that are fun like the game, and that's what we hope for. So far, so good. It's going to be a process. It's not something we're rushing. We do hopefully plan to get it out by next year, but we can't commit to a solid date just in case. Oh man. And a Nintendo Switch release has not been decided upon as of early 2021. So yeah, they're gonna have to figure out how powerful the game is ultimately, since this is what was rumored to be a $20 million budget, which led to AEW being in the quote financial red, but still making money. But yeah, we're gonna have to see how that goes out, and I'm hopeful, I'm optimistic. Like AEW now, it's because they're taking their meticulous time with it, and with the new talent coming in, wink wink nudge nudge, and some of their best in mind, I'm pretty sure we might get at least a possible mid delay, but like I said, that's just a prediction, not a spoiler. So WWE continues to prove that they don't know. Man. So WWE continues to prove that they only do something positive if something horrible happens. So remember when Karrion Kross showed up on Raw and he lost to Jeff Hardy in like 90 seconds and whatnot? And they were set to go one-on-one again, but the match was scrapped after the charismatic and tested positive for COVID-19. Damn you, COVID! So it was reported, so Karrion Kross instead fought Keith Lee and beat the living hell out of him. However, there's been a bit of a revelation made. According to Fightful Select, the NXT champion was set to lose again to Jeff Hardy on the show, which baffled several members of the team of creative and many wrestlers, who were confused about why Kross was booked to lose once, never mind 2 weeks in a row. So, they were going to screw him over again, but they only didn't screw him over because Jeff Hardy got hurt, because Jeff Hardy got sick. So it's going to take a pandemic to threaten someone's life for you to be like, hey, let's make crossover win here. So there was a report that came out a little bit later that apparently, it's not confirmed on that the original plan was to have Cross lose every time until Scarlet comes in and gets called up, because that's always the positive way to make him look like a badass. He needs to rely on someone. Okay. So, look, some people were debating about this. Some thought it was a potentially good idea, but I was thinking, like, yeah, this would be like if you ripped Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman up and Brock lost every single match afterwards because he doesn't have Paul Heyman. He can't be a badass and whatnot, be a beast without Paul E. dangerously. No, that's just impossible. That's just straight up impossible. Right? So, yeah, and here's the thing, I probably would have had enough, I probably would have been a little bit okay with the idea of Cross losing on his debut if it wasn't 90 seconds and instead gave it a 15-minute match. That's all I could have asked for. So, it took Jeff Hardy getting a life-threatening disease for Cross to get a victory out of this. This is the problem, that WWE is this destructive in its path to booking people. I mean, I'm reminded about when Enzo got fired over the incident and how he did not really tell anyone, and then Vince finally said, you know what, damn it, I'll just give Triple H the booking rights to 205 Live. Here you go. Because it caused a PR nightmare for WWE for how they, were doing it. So when you think about it, WWE only will do something unless it's desperation or humiliating for them, or something horrible happens, like Roman turning heel and becoming the head of the table, the tribal chief, the acknowledge me guy. Let's be real, that only happened because Roman had demands if he could come back. Vince was trying to see if he can move on without Roman. They tried to omit him at times from history. So they were like, oh, well, we don't need Roman. He was never good anyway. And then when that wasn't working out, they were like, please, Roman, come back. We'll give you anything you want. I want to be a heel. Okay, I want Paul Heyman. Okay. Like, that's how bad when WWE starts to somewhat try or go all in on trying, it has to have a horrendous nightmare scenario. So, congrats! Meanwhile, AEW and internal discussions are ramping up as they become extremely concerned about rising COVID-19 cases across the United States due to the Delta variant. So it's been reported that the biggest concern is the current status of September shows in Chicago and New York. As a result of rising cases, internal discussions have ramped up over the past week about future plans should restrictions be imposed across America. The company also looked at a potential long-term return to Daily's Place should a shutdown be enforced. Backstage described as an all hands on deck, and our source know Tony Khan has to make a decision about what is right for the talent, staff, and the fans. And yeah, I understand, and pretty much this is a case where they're gonna have to choose. Sort of. The decision might have to be made for them because, well, the government would have to make that decision, or all the states would have to make a decision. So the CDC has already made recommends about the has recommended all Americans wear masks in indoor public spaces again after initially removing the advice in May. So congrats on that, America. We won the war. And yet there were morons who were saying, please take off your mask. It's making me uncomfortable. Because that's what you want to have a Fox News anchor say. And yes, I'm going political there because, oh my God. So, yeah, everyone has to now plan what to do next. WWE dismantled the Thunderdome, so they're going to have to probably build it back up. And I still don't trust WWE on anything. But yeah, they're gonna have to think of something. We're all gonna have to think of something as everything starts to go to hell again. Way to go, America! We're back where we're probably gonna go back to square one on this, and then that video package emotional ending was gonna be wrecked for some people, and they'll complain and whatnot, and I'm just like, Also, I got good news. You'll see, WWE is finally going to do a Queen of the Ring, according to Matt Men Pro Wrestling Podcast by Adrian Zarian, and it's reported that they're going to do a Queen of the Ring type event. Scheduled to begin on October 8th, Friday Night SmackDown, and October 11th, Monday Night Raw. Tweeting out, hearing that Queen of the Ring tournament is currently scheduled to start on SmackDown and Raw. This will be the first all-women single tournament since the Mae Young Classic of 2018. But not like in the Mae Young Classic where they won a trophy, but they will be called Queen Insert Name Here. And then lose all that identity afterwards. Because that's how the King of the Ring worked for the last several years. Like Baron Corbin lost his identity, and now he is sad. Because that's a thing. No, seriously, I'm gonna ask this question. Why should I care about Baron Corbin again? Like, the fact that it's not working for me, like, I know some people are saying it's working for them, but it's like, I look at it and I'm just like, why should I feel sorry for a guy who made so many people's lives miserable as a heel, tried to viciously murder them on several occasions, did murder Aleister Black and Rey Mysterio, and we are just seeing their walking shells walk around because they're zombies secretly. Really? So why should I care about that karma finally struck him because he finally got too cocky? I'm being serious. Why should I? I don't know. But yeah, I want to be optimistic about Queen of the Ring, but you know, since like I mentioned King Baron and all that stuff, how they are now being stripped of their identity and doesn't really seems like a massive push. It's just more like oh, here's the consolation prize these days, and you know, WWE's gonna make something stupid out of this. Can we get Evolution 2, or is that just asking too much? Meanwhile, Renee Paquette, aka Renee Young, aka Renee Mox, you got Renee Goodman, yeah, Renee Moxley. Renee Young went out and pissed off the tribalists. When discussing Moxley's ongoing feud with Lance Archer on Oral Sessions, Renee said, "It's so layered and intriguing. There's really so much to sink your teeth into as a wrestling fan. There are so many deep roots that make storytelling fun and engaging. That's something you don't get to see in WWE. Well, mostly it's because of the appeal of crossover events. Wrestle Kingdom! It is a bit of poetic irony, bookending the Moxley's iconic reign with the man who he took it from." And then Renee, yeah, that already probably angered tribalists, but now they really get mad when she says this. AEW don't treat their fans stupid in terms of not knowing what this is and why we're going to beat you over the head and make sure you understand it. I understand the reason why they do that, obviously, WWE, but I think with smart fans, the way that people have access into looking at information I might not know and being able to connect the dots themselves, I think there's something really cool about that people like to have a sense of discovery rather than being talked to like they don't understand. And yeah, I agree. Like, remember how I said a while back that I liked the Roman Reigns Bray Wyatt feud of 2015. I praised that a lot because there was actual stakes, there was actual reasoning, and there was an actual threat to it because Roman's family was involved in this. And then it led to the classic anyone but you Roman meme that was going on for a time, for about 3 years. Yeah, that was a thing. But yeah, here's the thing about this feud. It had one major moment that really wrecked it a little bit. They just go ahead and have Roman Reigns come out a week after a big moment, just go and explain to everybody what happened last week because, you know, clearly people don't have the internet or watched last week. Like, WWE, let's be real, WWE's continuity issues are already confusing enough to understand, but when they tell you, you gotta remember this is important, but fans don't care because they'll just assume you'll just make everyone forget it and act like it didn't happen. Remember, for months and months and months, they kept teasing Big Show and Triple H having a match, and then they never did the match after wasting all of our time, which could be the collective amount of about 12 to 8 to 23 hours worth of content just thrown out the window. So, I get it, but the tribalists of the AEW and the WWE went to war. The WWE tribalists started harassing Renee, calling her a traitor and saying she has no loyalty, and I'm that guy that's like, you do realize she can't really say anything bad about her employer while working for them. If she had grievances, she probably discussed them in private, but, you know, she couldn't tell the public about it. So, yeah. And then the tribalists of AEW came to Renee's defense, calling her a hero and everything, I believe. And, you know, and then I just went ahead and just quoted a good doctor from an old show, say, if we fight like animals, we'll die like animals. Because that's where we're going at this point with wrestling fans. Oh, man, we're so rabid. Oh, God. Cry. So, oh man. So Captain America the First Avenger, on the 10th anniversary, the screenwriting duo shared some original ideas that didn't make it to the movie. Apparently the original ending was going to be with a fight with a giant nutsack robot. Oh man. A large chunk of the third act was kept fighting this giant robot. This robot was apparently a Nazi robot controlled by Red Skull called Panzermax. However, budget and time constraints forced the duo to rework the third act we played. And this was during the early days, so they couldn't really guarantee it because, you know, Marvel movies weren't necessarily a massive hit yet. The MCU was still in its first phase. So, Nazi robots! Now, if only we could have found an actor for him to punch Hitler. That would have been funny. So Bob's Burgers, the movie, because every animated series has to have an insert title, the movie in. So apparently the movie is going to be a musical, comedy, mystery, adventure, and kind of coming of age story, where they share details, the creator and executive producer leading the panel, saying that, saying that they will break some rules of the show and will mostly take and whatnot, but talk about an episode and talk about Tina's weird fiction where she is exploring a Blade Runner romantic dark fantasy, and going ahead and talking about the movie. And like they want a short coming out. I'm not gonna say it. But the creator's hoping that can be released in theaters as well. Set to release originally in July 2020 due to the concerns happened. And then many were concerned about the fate of this movie following Disney's acquisition of 20th Century Fox because protect the kids, Disney Plus. But all seems to look well in the world of burgers. So, Final Fantasy XVI's voice capture was seemingly completed in British English first. Was completed in English first with a focus on characters with British accents. presumably due to the high fantasy setup rather than 15.7's remakes more sci-fi inflicted aesthetics. But it's weird they say that it's an English language version first before the original language in Japan. But in this case, it comes down to creating a full facial capture for the game's characters, saying we can't possibly hand animate every cut of a scene, so this time we're doing a full facial motion captures and then adding the voices to that. So this is one of the reasons why English version is ahead of others. It says the Japanese version will be handled soon, but it's not clear if the game will feature entirely separate facial capture for English and Japanese versions. At the release of Ghost of Tsushima, many noted that there was no Japanese lip sync despite a full voice track, with demand leading to the feature being added into the upcoming director's cuts. And how it says that voiceover work was nearly complete and that the game will likely skip the Tokyo Game Show, with Yoshida would like to show it when it's ready rather than show off pieces of the final product, which I understand because remember what happened last time they showed pieces and then the game didn't come out for another several years and everyone was pissed for a while, and then Tetsuya Nomura even admitted, yeah, we should not have done that. Meanwhile, Death Stranding's director's cut will expand on the Strain system as game passes 5 million copies sold. So, speaking to Game Industry Biz, Kojima Productions head of publishing Jay Bohr confirmed the game will expand on the system with its upcoming launch on PS5. It's not clear exactly how it will be done, but apparently we'll be learning more soon, saying the core component is the Social Strain system, which is a unique multiplayer feature that enables players to connect with other players from around the globe through a variety of in-game actions. The director's cut will expand on this system, and we'll be sharing more of that in the weeks to come. As a single-player game, Death Stranding does not allow players to team up alongside one another while traversing the vast landscape. However, the Social Strain system does allow players to add several important elements of online interaction, which mainly take place via the Trinell network. Upon the game's initial release, they explored how the thing allowed players to interact with one another during their travels. Oh man. So yeah, the director, I'm still saying that they should call it developer's cut and whatnot, or the developer's expanded edition, but give or take. Meanwhile, Ubisoft, the horrible company that just likes to destroy life, Assassin's Creed Valhalla Siege of Paris expansion release date announced, set for August 12, 2021. Yay. Hey. So, yeah, I would say something, but I do not care. I no longer care. And I have Valhalla, and this is when I didn't hear about the whole thing until afterwards. So, yeah, I'm a moron, I get it. But, yeah. We'll be back after these messages and a word from our sponsors. We'll be back, everybody. Take care. We're back, everyone, on Near Reality Collective. Let's finish this off. Pokemon live action series in development at Netflix. And it's being headed up by Lucifer's Joe Henderson. According to Variety, he's slated to write and executive produce the live action adaptation. He's currently the co-showrunner on Netflix's popular Lucifer series based on the DC comic. Reports say the series is aiming to replicate Detective Pikachu, who, however, Netflix series is his own independent production. Okay. Previously known for Almost Human, has been serving as Lucifer's co-showrunner since 2016 and moved with the series when it was picked up by Netflix. Netflix is currently home to several existing Pokemon anime seasons, and the interest in developing a live-action series stems from the anime success on the platform. Alongside acquiring more anime originals, Netflix is currently adapting several anime into live action, including Cowboy Bebop and One Piece. One Piece isn't even done yet. At least Cowboy Bebop, I can expect it to be live action because they've been trying for years. It's very early in development, and neither the plot nor detailed casting plans have taken place. So we'll have to see on that. Let's just hope it doesn't involve a character not aging for 20 to 30 years, and then we'll never get an explanation until we go ahead and get an explanation. Not really, but fan theories about the whole Ash is in a coma thing. So, yeah, Activision Blizzard employees are staging a massive walkout. Because of their horribleness. And Blizzard told employees this afternoon it will offer paid time off to those participating in tomorrow's walkout. So there's a lot of demands here, reasonable because of yeah, especially how what came out. So Activision Blizzard should either be destroyed from within or remove all the bad people. Bobby Kotick, you know, the psychopath, issued a new statement calling Activision Blizzard's initial statement tone deaf. Let me just double check on who exactly said it was tone deaf. Let's see. The Blizzard spokesperson. So, yeah, that's still your company, and that spokesperson had to have said something representing you. So, did you write that speech, or is Bobby Kotick trying to go ahead and play him, playing the sole spokesperson and not, you know, himself? I am not going into this. If I keep going into this, I will be depressed and pissed beyond belief. Anyway, so BioWare has released an infographic featuring all of our details of Commander Shepard Legendary Edition. We got 32% Femme Shep. Male Shepard was dominated by 68%. Military specialization was Soldier, 40% as the dominant norm. Dominant pre-service history is Earthborn. Psychological profile is Survivor with War Hero nicking in a nearly by 1%. Who was rescued on Rimmeyer? 60 say Ashley, 40 say Caden, 94% say Rex survives, 93% say the Arachnine Queen, and ultimately allied with it. So props to it. And the squad mates most likely to survive range from Garrus being number 1 and Warden being number 12. Meanwhile, the Genophage was indeed cured and Tally was pardoned. And most popular squad mates range from Garrus all the way to Kaden at number 6. And during the big Ragnarok mission, you achieved peace, 80%. Yes! Meanwhile, because we're all funny with the jokes, we go ahead and address the reporter, aka's name I will not try to pronounce because that is a super long name, and we all went with the comedic punch to the face. Well, I am the 32% who questions with candor and grace. Meanwhile, everyone got the whole players who spent way too long looking for the last keeper, which they swear they scanned already, and how did they miss that? 100% of all players. Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm trying to do something with my Mass Effect footage I got. I hope to have some details when I think of something. So, Die Hard prequel McClane is dead. Okay. Apparently it was abandoned following the Disney-Fox merger, saying, yeah, it's not happening. What was really interesting, we actually came up with an idea to do it. It was a project that wasn't Die Hard then, and eventually shifted over to Die Hard. McClane was set to feature Bruce Willis's return to John McClane with a structure that would have shifted between modern timeline and the 1970s. A different actor would have played the younger version of McClane, with the story exploring the character's early days as a New York police officer. Okay, but considering what happened to the last one, Good Day to Die Hard, which was not good by people. Yeah, I understand that. Probably for the best. Even Bruce Willis even admitted in an interview before the film that yeah, it's not good, and I think he lost his mind afterwards. Meanwhile, Xbox Series XS is currently the fastest selling consoles in Xbox history. Yes! Hooray! 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 Meanwhile, PS5 passes 10 million units sold, but there's a lot of work ahead to make more units. Jim Ryan has acknowledged that there's still not enough consoles available, and they finally surpassed the milestone on July 18th. Yes! And now, due to the ongoing global chip shortage, let's see, there was an update saying that the chip shortage affecting every part of gaming could drag into 2023. No. Well, that sucks. Also, Interplay looked like it was being set for a return, only to be revealed. Yeah, someone faked it. Publisher Interplay Entertainment has announced that a Twitter account claiming to announce the relaunch of the story developer is a fake. Well, that sucks. Oh dear. Considering what happened to Interplay recently, I'm pretty sure we should just call it a day at this point. I'm still surprised that company's still alive, considering like what, there's like how many people are still working at Interplay? Let's check. Let's see. There's about where is it? Where is it? About 11 to 50 employees according to LinkedIn. Damn. Like, can we just call it a day? Can we just call it a day at this point? I'm kind of convinced we should just call it a day. Sucks. Meanwhile, for those who like Arthur, because I was still going for for so long, I thought the show was dead back in the early 2000s. Nope. So, yeah, turns out, following rumors and speculation, Arthur is ending in 2022 with its 25th season. The end to memes. Dating back from 1996. Oh, God. Damn. I was still surprised when I heard that the show was still alive a few years back. I was like, wait, really? How? Man. So in the winter of 2022, the 25th and final season of Arthur will debut. Arthur will continue to be available on PBS Kids for years to come. And they're continuing work on additional content for Arthur, sharing the lessons of Arthur and his friends in new ways. Does it involve finally aging up DW to stop her to be an evil person? I'm like, okay. Meanwhile, Call of Duty Last of Us God of War developers set up a new AAA studio called That's No Moon, with a backed $100 million investment. I'm pretty sure Disney's going to sue because they'll claim that we own the That's No Moon meme because, yeah. This first game will be apparently an ambitious new action-adventure game that will push both limits of gameplay and story. Yes! And apparently the two head developers previously worked at Infinity Ward and Naughty Dog. I can't pronounce the names. Jacob Minkoff and Taylor Kuroski. I'm pretty sure I butchered that. So we got a ton of great talent. God of War, Fortnite, Last of Us 2, Destiny, Uncharted 4, Thieves' End, and many more. And they have a $100 million investment from Smilegate, creator of the Crossfire series, which will be acting in a partnership role. Yes, we'll have to go into look into that. We have to see how that looks, huh? We'll see. Can't wait. Ubisoft employees signed letters supporting Activision Blizzard's walkout and demand better from Ubisoft. Like Activision Blizzard, Ubisoft was revealed to be a horrible company, to the point that you will cry every single time when you have to hear it. So they're supporting Blizzard. Bungie condemned Activision Blizzard. Ubisoft got condemned. Everyone's been condemned. We might as well just condemn each other. And oh wait, we already do that. But anyways. Meanwhile, Netflix is said to be the first major Hollywood studio to require COVID-19 vaccinations. Vaccinations were required for all actors and any production team members in close proximity. This is following the return to work protocols agreed upon by unions and studios last week. But while vaccinations are mandatory, Netflix will reportedly be making a handful of exceptions for medical, religious, and age reasons. No! I'm like, medical, I get, because some people are immunocompromised or, are in chemo, so fine, I get that part. But religious and age, okay, maybe they can't give it to all little kids. Religious, I'm not a religious guy, so I'm not going to go into the subject, but I will possibly be, I would probably be annoyed if people are saying that it is against my religious beliefs to have a potential fight against this deadly virus, because famine and disease has not been a history in the religious texts. I'm like, I could be wrong. I don't read the Bible. I just hear the stories about it and think that they would be epic set pieces. Meanwhile, let's get to our final piece of BS news on NRC. The United States areas such as California and 5 others banned certain high-end PCs because they use too much power. Okay, so California passed this law that effectively banned high-end gaming PC systems because they use too much power. Okay, fine. You're not really addressing, like, I'm not saying that's not a legit issue. I get it, but at the same time, it's like, how about we focus on the most important thing about the environment in California, especially, and most of the West Coast. Let me try and tell you what it is. People using high-end explosives during events of gender reveal parties. Can we address that? Because no one's bringing that up anymore. The wildfires wasn't because gaming hardware exploded. At least I don't think any did. But all I hear every time I hear their insert thing caused forest fire, it's always been the same thing. Gender reveal parties using dynamite, explosives, firecrackers in dry weather, in dry areas. Because, they clearly aren't listening to their own advice. And then you got crazy people saying pools filled with equipment on fire because they want to be edgy, to be edgelords, and then ultimately get pissed off by the state of California and the mayor of Los Angeles. And I'm not certainly referencing a certain Paul. So, yeah. I heard this and I was like, so you're addressing the environmental concerns. How about you also address gender reveal parties? Then I'll be okay. Then I would just be okay with this. I mean, that Dell also stated that any orders that were slated to ship there to those states will now be canceled, saying that. So things like Alienware, Aurora, R10, and R12, such as in California, Colorado, Hawaii, Oregon, Vermont, or Washington State, they have basically are banned. They're no longer available. So does California effectively mean that they have disowned Silicon Valley? Like Bitcoin mining alone, like forecasters have said that Bitcoin mining alone could consume as much power as Italy in less than 5 years. So get ready for cryptocurrency scamming to be more and more before the market collapse. Yeah. So, yeah, that's all the news we have. Oh god, thank you for everyone for being here for the 18th episode of NRC. Hope to see y'all again for Saturday or Sunday's episode. This was NRC. Let's have a final word from our sponsor, and then also we go out. Peace and take care, everybody. Have a nice night.
Be sure to donate to the brand and keep up to date with additional content on YouTube channels such as Neo Reality Entertainment, NRE The Wrestleverse, and NRE Pop Culture Omniverse.